All right, everybody, welcome back into the Golden Tee Lounge. Kevin Lindsay here. Hope you guys had a magnificent Memorial Day weekend. Hope you enjoyed some good weather, nice relaxation, a few cold drinks. Outside of the nice weather part, we did a little bit of that here at the office with our family. So thank you for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. This week, all new event, casual tee boxes. So if we take a look here, red tee boxes throughout the course for this week, 18 different drivable par 4s, which means there's 18 opportunities for you guys to hit an eagle. So with that being said, let's kick things off here with a very, very nice look at Grand Savannah. Should have gotten some great shot points to kick things off, but hey, who's counting here? Pull up the list of the holes here for you guys. But with this week's weekly event, same as our World Championship qualification. So every time you play a new game, you're going to see new conditions on all these courses. So right now, this is the very first game I've played this week in events mode. So you are seeing the first setup on all these holes. So when you go out to your local establishment, if you have not already played events mode, the game that I'm playing right now is what you will see the very first time you jump in there and start getting some scores in for this week's event. Over $9,000 in total prizes. And if you go to goldentee.com, you can click on the events mode link to see a total of everybody. Play 5 games to qualify. Right now, David Duncan is in first place with 173. Brian Bernhardt in second with 172. Tony Johnson, 171. Jeff Harlow, 171. Greg Kinsler, 170. So 9,425 total prizes, total prize pool for this week's event. So a lot of money on the line. Oh, that looks good. 300 spots paid. At least I hope we're still paying 300 spots because that's what I was told. But any opportunity you have to get out there and play in events mode this week, go ahead and do so, because these holes, by the way, if you have any discretion about the holes that were chosen, go ahead and reach out to Adam Kramer, because I did not pick them. But hopefully we can get some good scores in for the first game or two. Give you guys some hope when you get out there and start banging away at those courses. Falcon Sands hole 2, another fun drivable par 4. Not the easiest set in the world there, but nothing that a little spinning of the driver can't do for us. Going back to Golden Tee Live original course from Whispering Valley, number 5 here. Nice little 7-mile-an-hour win there. Oh, that, I see. I didn't even call it because I was too concerned that it would not go in. But the name of the game here, 18 eagles. So you're looking at a 36 under par across the board. Hopefully some of these setups look very doable for a hole-in-one. And with these red box casualties, that definitely should be the case on some of these holes. Joseph from Facebook, not sure what you mean by making these playable online. These are all, you know, this is a playable event for commercial units. So if you own a Golden Tee Home Edition, that means you're going to have to get out and go play some games outside of your home turf to enjoy this week's event, have a chance at a $9,425 total prize pool. Coconut Beach, hole 7. Very, very nice setup here. It has been a very long time since I've really had the chance to explore and enjoy the red tees. And look at that, it only took me 8 holes before I need to make a chip. Right now we're using the standard build bag that I use across the board. The 9.5 degree driver, 10.5 degree driver, 3, 5, 6 wood, 3 hybrid, 8 wood, 5 hybrid, 6, 8, 9 irons with super spin, gap wedge, and a lob wedge. So when depending on how this setup looks across the board, we will go ahead and possibly throw in the 0 hybrid, especially with these being all drivable par 4s. Hopefully I don't shoot shots bad enough that require me to have the gap wedge or a lob wedge. This one in particular should hopefully be a easy enough setup. Not sure what happened there, but that probably will be the trickiest shot with the red tee, since it is a shorter distance with those casual tee boxes. So we'll need to work on hole 9, which is Woodland Farm, I believe number 4 there. But look at that, even with one bad shot on hole 9, 17 under across the board for the front 9. Very easy and very scoreable setup here so far. Celtic Shores, number 6 here is, oh, I needed the fringe bounce there, is kicking things off on the back 9. Joseph, sorry to hear that, my friend. So we are working on Golden Tee, the new mobile game. If you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, you can see some of the videos on Golden Tee's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Instagram. Basically, all of our social medias have some little video teases of that. This Sequoia hole is probably going to be another 0 hybrid looking hole. So we may have to switch for that second game, which shouldn't be too hard an issue. But Joseph, if you haven't heard, we are working on that mobile game that will be released in the summer. Currently being beta tested on Android devices, and looking for a midsummer release there for Android and Apple devices across the board. Eagle Crest 14. Looks like the 8 wood is going to be the club of choice here. I thought I hit that aggressively, but not that aggressive. So we'll have to play around with some of the distance control here and my chipping, because apparently a few days off from playing Golden Tee means I no longer know how to chip. That's alright though. Number 13, Black Hills, hole 15, our very first design hole winner. Very nice setup here. Simple 6 wood up and over. Don't even have to worry about that waterfall being in play. Summit Lakes, hole 14. Nice strong 10-mile-an-hour wind behind us, so I'm just going to use that 5 wood to catch right over those rocks. Hopefully, yep, there we go. Got a little bit of a love tap from the snow. And we're putting in for eagle. Shady Acres 15. Not too much different here with the red tees. Still going to be a longer look with the driver. I'm going to use the 10.5 degree driver. Really just want to get it on the greens. Some of these holes definitely going to have some good opportunities for a hole-in-one on the par 4. But, excuse me, holes like this from Shady Acres, let's just get on the green, putt in for eagle, and call it a day. Indigo Mound, a 2007 Golden Tee Live course. Don't think I hit that one hard enough. We'll see, though. Oh, look at that. Nope, not hard enough. That's all right. That's the nice thing about playing a lot of these courses. You know, playing events mode and having different setups. It's just going to take a little bit of work here. Ryland, hole 14, another drivable par 4 that we have not used in a long time. This is definitely a zero hybrid hole. You can tell it's been a long time since I have played it, so I'm going to be absolutely happy with a birdie on this front.
Wow, where's that one sitting? Not good. He's almost dancing, Jim. Wow. Never in my wildest dreams, Jim.
All right, Glacier Ranch, hole 16. A little bit of a tough setup here for the final hole, but this is a perfect hole where my super spin clubs are really going to come into play here if I hit the green. Look at that, perfect. So definitely going to probably want a super spin 9-iron for some of the definitely for hole 18, which is Glacier Ranch, hole 16. Few little blips on the back of that leaderboard, but hey, no bogeys or double bogeys, just a few pars here and there. So 27 under for the first game, not the best score in the world, but also not the worst one. We do know that there are going to be opportunities to use that zero hybrid, so we are going to go ahead and switch things over to now use the zero hybrid. I think using the grabber golf balls is still the best option here, at least for that first look that I saw. I'm sure, based on the luck that I have, I will switch to the zero hybrid club set, and then I will no longer need the zero hybrid. But that's all right. We'll give it a shot, see what happens, and hopefully these red tees, these casual tee boxes, will continue to treat us well in game 2. Hole number 2, Elkhorn Ridge. Oh, that's a nice little roll up there. Hole 2 from Elkhorn Ridge is number 2 in events mode. So far, so good. Still a little bit longer looks with the driver, but nothing crazy even for casual tee boxes.
She made it on.
With an eagle too. Call for one from the tee box.
I'll tell you what, though, playing these casual tee boxes makes you feel a little bit for those players that play casual, because they don't always get the easier looks. Most of the time they do, but as you can tell so far, not always the case, which is a fun little tidbit. Stuart, thanks for the kudos on the finish. Hopefully we are able to knock it out of the park this time now that we've changed our club set. Ultra shot would have been very acceptable for hole 5 from Whispering Valley. But since this week, this video we're doing is on events mode and going all the way up through Sunday night, feel free to hit that share button, tag your friends. I know some of you have already done so, but please feel free to share this video. The more Golden Tee players that we can reach, that they can get a chance to walk through this event, you know, the more opportunities you guys all have to get out there and play, win some prizes. You know, $9,425 in prizes across 300 spots. So definitely a good payout across the board, and we'll get those payouts posted on goldentee.com as well for you to check out on our social media channels as well. Oh, this is a beautiful look here. Don't even probably need a high tee, but we're going to use one anyways, just to be safe. Yeah, definitely didn't need a high tee there, but we still might be putting. Look at that. Didn't even hit the fringe. Coconut Beach Hole 7, always a fun setup, but I think with those casual right tee boxes, no need to try to hit through that little chute. Just a high tee 3-wood will actually do. I just used the 10.5 degree driver for good measure. We are going to try something different here. See if this 3 hybrid, well, it definitely hits the trees, but did not get enough distance to get past. But hopefully, thought the 5 hybrid was going to be able to make the save for birdie, but that's all right. Still not a bad front 9, just one mistake there on hole 9. Definitely going to be one of those holes that might require a bit more thought. So for game 3, we'll definitely mess around with our club options. I know some players I've seen use a 5-wood or a 3-wood to get, they'll hit those trees and then get over the barn. But we'll have to try that for game 3. Hole 11, Sequoia Grove, hole 13. Definitely going to need the 0 hybrid for this, just because it is the first or second tee box, so you're going to have a shorter distance. If you really wanted to, you could probably try to hit a 3-wood in between the left or right gap. I don't recommend it, so we're just going to hit a low 0 hybrid with bite. I actually hit that too hard somehow, so we're going to get wet there. So that's definitely another thing to take into consideration when playing this week's event. Definitely going to need a 0 hybrid. There's the 5 hybrid chip of death I needed earlier, or chip of life, actually. But I did not even hit my 0 hybrid that hard. I hit it about 105. So definitely going to need to make sure you take some distance off of that club. Since my 8-wood flew the green last time, I'm going to go ahead and use this 10-mile-an-hour wind to the left as an advantage. High tee 8-wood right over those trees, and hopefully that 10-mile-an-hour wind stays on the green. Beautiful. And a little bit of a fringe putt, so we'll just go ahead and click right. Remember, anytime you're not comfortable with the up-down slope or the left-right slope, fringe or not, click 1 to the left. See that? Okay, so now it becomes more of an upslope, less of a right slope. Click 1 right, and I know that I lose the up. So I know that I can play this pretty straightforward as a right 5 when putting. Works just as well for, I would say, probably putts that are 50 feet or more on some of those longer greens that you'll experience. This is going to be a bit more of a challenge, so we're actually going to hit a nice fun shot here. I'm just going to hit my 10.5 degree driver. Actually, I'm going to high tee my 10.5 degree driver just to be safe. Honestly, didn't even think there was a pin spot on the left-hand side of the green. Didn't exactly go the direction I wanted, but there's always that option to just bank it right off of the rock wall to try to go ahead and save yourself some time and get an eagle putt. Bad pin spot there, so you're definitely going to want to think about your shot on Black Hills 13 before hitting that. Short pin here on number 14, Summit Lakes. So not much room to play with, which is why we are going to hit a 3-wood. We're just going to crush it a little bit. I think 133 is probably a bit much, but not too far off. Actually, probably would have been some great shot points if I was just a little bit more to the left. But again, important part, you're still putting in for eagle. And then we look at actually a pretty nice setup here from Shady Acres. Hole 15. We're just going to go ahead and just hit a little 3-wood. A little bit harder than you're going to need, but also make sure you pay attention to that 11-mile-an-hour wind when hitting the 3-wood, because that 3-wood very easily can get blown onto the right side of the green, off the rough and into the water if you're not too careful there. Indigo Mound, very, very nice setup here for game 2. I am going to resist the urge to just hit a 6 wood with no spin. I'm going to hit a 5 wood very gently with bite. That actually looks like it's going to work out very well. A little bit too hard, but you still want to play that about 100, 103. I know it is a little bit hard to adjust, when you're hitting the trackball, but in that instance, I hit 105, put it in for eagle, but that's a pretty good chance at hole-in-one there, so maybe hit that a little bit softer. With the new tee boxes from the 2018 courses, you're going to get a lot of different shots, which is why I put the zero hybrid in for this hole particularly, but this is actually going to be a low 3 hybrid, and I actually am awful at this hole, so I'm going to go 2 clicks to where they start you, low 3 hybrid, and we're just going to hope for the best. Actually, that I don't pat myself on the back seriously often, but that was actually a damn good shot. So almost a bit of a full, but low T 3 hybrid on round 2. Pull it back all the way to C, hit it as straight as you can. Don't want to crush it too hard, but you're going to lose the spin because you're hitting it off of the path and on the rough, but putting in for eagle without a problem there. So 3 hybrid, 0 hybrid are going to be probably your clubs of choice for 17, which is Ryland 14. And then we are going to use a low T 9 iron. Need to make an adjustment to my Build-A-Bag before we start game 2 because I actually do not have the super spin on the 9 iron, which is what I think I'm going to need. Not that it matters because I didn't even get the shot to the hole, but might want to change my club setup a little bit to include the super spin on the 9 iron. Especially because we are going to stick with that 0 hybrid. I'm actually going to go ahead and make that change now before I putt in, before I forget. So 3 hybrid, which I always have, is a good option for number 17, which is Ryland hole 14. Going to change up my Build-A-Bag really quick. Where is my 0 hybrid? There we go. All right, so 9 iron was very useful for hole 18, Glacier Ranch 16 beforehand. So going to go ahead and make sure we get the super spin on my 9 iron. And I know I've mentioned this to you guys before, but it's definitely going to take some getting used to once you put partial spin or the super spin on your clubs. But highly suggest that you go ahead and do that. All right, so now we are all good and ready to go. So once we swipe in for our 3rd game here in events mode, the All Eagles event, all drivable par 4s, we will have a 0 hybrid, a 3 hybrid, but also a 9 iron with a super spin specifically for hole 18 in this instance. Couple holes we need to figure out. Number 9, which is Woodland Farm hole 4. Got to figure that out with the shorter distance of those red casual tee boxes, and then just a few shots here and there in between. But so far so good. We hit a 20-something earlier. Now we're up to 31, so we're starting to get closer to par. And hopefully the 3rd setup here from this week's event will do us well. Make sure that my Build-A-Bag is saved before we actually confirm. All right, perfect. So we can go ahead. Hopefully my changes have saved very quickly through the GT Caddy app. We'll have that super spin on the 9 iron, and we should be good to go for this next game 3 here. Let's check it out. 9 iron super spin. Almost screwed up that shot, but hey, the club change took effect. We are good to go. Hey, just take a look at this. Grand Savannah, I believe this is a 2009 course. Those giraffes just enjoying a beautiful day out in the safari as we're starting off with a pretty good shot here on number 1. So kicking things off with eagle, always a good thing. Let's make sure we are checking out the live version of the game just to see if we get your comments in. A little bit of a shorter look here. I'm going to use the 10.5 degree driver with a little bit of a cut on it to take some of that distance off. Actually going to work out pretty darn well. Didn't get enough spin to the right, so no great shot points there, but that's all right. Still putting in for eagle. 18 holes, 18 opportunities at eagles. That's exactly what we're trying to do here with some of these shots. But again, just because these are casual tees does not mean that they're necessarily going to always be the easiest looks here. Some of these holes, like number 3 Highland, number 6, a little bit of a longer distance, but driver, 10.5 degree, 9.5 degree, 0 hybrid, any of those clubs get you right on the green. Just putt in for eagle. There's going to be opportunities where you're going to want to try for the hole in one. That's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to hit the 10.5 degree driver. I'm just going to let that 9 mile an hour wind kind of blow that ball to the right. Didn't get it out as far left as I wanted to, but something like this where the pin's dead center of the green, you have a little bit more room to mess around with and not have to worry about costing yourself some strokes. So one of the things that I might not necessarily do a good job here of showing you, but I'll definitely talk about it, is there's times, whether I'm doing these videos on a live stream or I'm playing golf at a tournament or hanging out with friends and playing, where I just try to pin seek, and it's something that you want to stay away from unless you are absolutely certain. And it's something I'm the Dr. Phil. I'm great at giving advice, but I'm never really good at trusting it. So I will start to do that a little bit more with these videos. But some of these holes, it's a difference between, getting your normal eagle and walking away, or putting a shot in the sand or even the water and losing, 1 or 2 strokes. So just a little bit of a quote-unquote veteran advice about how to play a little bit smarter.
That's a peach.
Let's see how it actually works out here. Ooh, was a little nervous about that one. Did not pull enough to the BC to get the little curve that I wanted, but still was able to save the eagle there. This is what, Misty Springs hole 8. You need to worry a little bit about the leaves on this tree here. They stick out a little bit more than you'd think. Probably actually, because I started telling you guys about it, hit way too safe of a shot and went out a little bit farther left than I needed to, but still putt in for eagle. All that matters forever and ever. Remember last time we used a high 10.5 degree driver. This is a little bit of a longer look, so I'm going to stick with the high 10.5. But just make sure that you're not crushing it. A solid 110, 115 hit will do. Actually, if I was a little bit centered more towards the cup, that actually would have been in. But I'm happy, always happy to walk away with an eagle, especially with all of you players watching and hanging out. Very, very, I don't think I've ever actually seen a look this close, even in casual mode. So, whew. All right, we're just going to hope and pray here. We're going to hit a 5 wood at a 175-yard shot, 10 mile an hour wind. We're just going to go crush that and hope for the best.
Hit the soft part.
Might stay up there for eagle chip. Perfect. So not the best shot in the world. I was really too worried about hitting the 5 wood too hard and actually just blowing through the trees, because it's definitely happened to me before. But I didn't like that chip. I thought about, do I stop, take a second, breather, pull back, and reassess. If you ever second guess a shot, I highly suggest you stop, take a breather, reset the golfer, and then try again, because I'm definitely a victim of getting in my own head when it comes to stuff like that. Celtic Shores, number 6. Not a bad setup. You just need to make sure that whether you're hitting the 10.5 degree driver or 9.5, make sure that you're able to get it through that little gap there. Came up a little bit too quick for me to kind of show you, but once you get out of that, you're perfect.
Golfer 1, ready to hit.
280 looks. So last time we hit the zero hybrid, low teed it, went a little bit too far, barely got wet. So what we're going to do is, since this is a 280 look and not 290 like the previous game, we're going to put a slight hook on it just to kill some more of the distance. That actually might go in. That would be amazing. Oh, come on. What do I have to do? Events mode was where I had my luckiest shots, my greatest shots, and I was able to make them work. I hit this and I'm thinking, wow, this might go in, but right over the cup it goes. I'm happy with the eagle, don't mind it. But perfect example here for checking the left and right slopes of your shot. So right now, 40 feet away, not that far away, up 4. I'm going to click left 1. Now it changes to up 4, left 1. So I know that even though straight at the cup, it's up 4, there's a very slight shift to the left. And then I'm going to do the same for the right. It stays up 4. So I know that even though it might be a hair or two, it is out to the left on that up 4. So I know that I don't want to adjust really how I'm hitting the trackball. It's probably more a mental thing, at least for me, but know that there is a very, very, very slight break to the left with that shot.
On tee now, golfer 1.
Trickier setup here, Eagle Crest, number 14 for hole 12 in this week's event. Not a favorable wind, so we are just going to play this smart. We're going to play a little bit into the wind, but really we're just trying to hit that green. We're going to have a longer putt, not a big deal. Much better than a chip here. So same thing again, 52 feet away, right 5. Click right 1, it is still a right 5 slope. Click left, you get a little bit of an extra up. So I'm just going to push this out, and I pushed it out a little bit too much because of that up 1. So not a big deal, still putting in for birdie, but some of these holes with these longer, bigger, larger greens are going to have good opportunities for you to just take a second, check out the slopes before you go whacking away. Matthew Miller should be out today. I'll have to check and see if they got that tracking number for me yet. But no worries, we will get that stuff out to you. All right, so here is where the top-down view is going to play a little bit of a mind trick for you. Hole 13, Black Hills, number 15, our very first design hole winner. You don't want to hit this waterfall because 99% chance your ball is going to hit that waterfall, boom, right in the water. So what happens for this look, we're a little bit closer to the center of the green. It's a 5 wood right at it. So we are going to go 1 click to the right. Now see, the top-down view does get a little wonky. Do not worry about it. You're still hitting 259. Just know that the top-down view does get a little murky with the stuff going on the right. So 5 wood, medium tee, put a little bit of a cut on it. Probably should have put more cut on it, but at least we're putting on the green for eagle. We're not chipping out of the rough. We're not hitting the water. Should have taken my own advice there and checked the green slope, but we were able to make it work. Hole 14, Summit Lakes. Longer look here, 307 for the casual tee boxes. I am not good at clicking 1 to the right and playing into that 15-mile-an-hour wind. A lot of the top guys are going to tell you that you really shouldn't get into that habit. You probably want to work the trackball out more so you're shooting here, pulling back to the left, and hitting it out. I'm going to go in between. I'm going to move my tee box, my tee as far right as I can. 10.5 degree driver. I'm going to pull back to the left, hit it out to the right. Now remember, it's a 15-mile-an-hour wind, so it's going to eat a lot of that distance, so you want to play it safe. And look at that, perfect. Might have a little bit of a chip. I'm going to have to be careful of this lip. But still, chip in for eagle from a very short distance. A-okay with that.
Next up, golfer 1.
Shady Acres, hole 15. 9.5 degree driver. We're going to go ahead and move that over to the left corner of the tee box. Going to put bite on it. I'm going to play against this wind, so I'm going to pull that trackball back in between the BC and hit it a little bit to the right of the 2. and hopefully got enough distance to play off that. Okay, so that's not good. Did not get much love there with my shot. Didn't get against the wind as much. So we're taking a birdie on this one. That's all right. Another longer look from Indigo here. We're gonna take a 3-wood with bite. We're gonna just kind of gently go at the pin here. Hit that way too soft, so that's probably getting wet. Oh, no water there, so we're just gonna have one heck of a chip up on the green. Another birdie putt, but again, much better than hitting the water in that instance. All right, 231. So zero hybrid's not an option here. 3-wood or the 3 hybrid is going to be our best bet. We're going to have to whack away at it a little bit more. I'm going to go low 3 hybrid again, but this time we're going to hit it out a little bit more to the left and hit harder because we don't have that right to left wind. We've got that right to down left. I don't know all I know is that there's a wind in the face, so we're going to have to play this one a little bit more aggressively than normal. But thankfully, as long as we get a nice... Oh, there we go. That was beautiful. That was about as nice of a bounce as you could have asked for from those rocks on the top.
Teeing it up for the last time today, it's golfer 1.
All right, hole 18. It is Glacier number 16. We put the super spin on our 9-iron so we can get a little bit more of an advantage when it comes to dealing with this green and avoiding these trees. Not sure how this is going to work, but we're going to go ahead and put bite on it just because backspin, as soon as I hit that green, is going to kick back. We are going to pull this back to the C, hit it out to the 3. I don't want to hit it too hard. I want to catch the green. Not going to happen. So, unfortunately, that one's going to get wet. I was too concerned about hitting the tree that I pushed it out just a little too much. That's all right, though. Another birdie chip in to end with a 31. Anytime, I look at it as anytime I hit a 30 or better, especially in events mode, you've got 7 or 6 days left to go ahead and play at that. So, I'm okay with the 31, the back-to-back 31s. We'll go ahead and play our 4th game and hopefully break that 31 streak we've got going on. Although 31's a great number, definitely more opportunities to score there. So, let's see what happens game 4. Lorenzo from YouTube says him and his friends play fairly evenly, but their brackets change. What determines that? So, the easiest answer I could give you, Lorenzo, is that the brackets change based on a lot of factors. It's based on whether you're playing prize play versus glory, where you end up in the contest, the number of players you defeat, all kinds of stuff. But I will tell you, if you are in a higher bracket than your friends and you play, your friends automatically get put into that gold bracket, at least for that contest that you are playing in, just to make sure there's an even playing field for everybody. All right, back at the grind. Hole number 1, Grand Savannah. Number 4, game number 4. Not a bad look, although I had to cut my 10.5 degree driver against the wind. But even with bite and grabbers, got enough love to get a 4-foot putt with some great shot points. So, starting things off right on game 4 of events mode this week. Speaking of starting things off right, hole 2, Elkhorn Ridge. Very, very clean look here. I'm actually going to not put any spin on it. Pulled it out a little bit too far to the left on the B, so I'm going to be chipping in for eagle, but I just felt very confident about, playing off that dead center look at the pin. All right, hole 3, Highland Links, number 6. Very interesting setup here. So that pin is tucked towards the left. I need to point out, in case you haven't seen it over these couple of flybys we're doing, that hill to the left will give your ball one heck of a bounce if you do not, if you catch that fringe, or excuse me, that rough on the fly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my tee back. I'm going to use the 10.5 degree driver, and I'm going to just barely pull this back to the left. Actually, it doesn't feel like I got anything at all. I think I might have almost hit that dead straight. But again, rather safe than sorry. It's a flat green, so my 43-foot putt for eagle, not too hard. And I'm taking that rough out of play, because last thing you want to do, you go back-to-back eagles to start the game, hit that rough, end up in the water, or chipping out of that very difficult Highland Links rough for birdie. Not the most favorable thing you want on hole 3 of your game. So play it safe. That green never changes on Highland Links 6. It's always flat. So just play it safe, get that eagle, and walk away happy. Hole 4, Falcon Sands number 2, 10.5 degree driver. With bite, we're just going to go ahead and crush this. Just want to get it on the green, putt in for eagle. A little bit too close to the water for comfort in terms of messing around with cutting the ball and trying to take some of that extra distance off there. Whispering Valley, hole number 5 for number 5 of our event here. Casual tee box, very nice setup here. Really wish I would have hit that 5 wood just a little bit harder. That had a nice opportunity for hole-in-one, but happy with an eagle. 10 after 5, and we are on our way to a 31 or better. Number 6, Cape Haven 9. Tough pin here. Pin's going to be about as close to the fringe as you can get. I'm going to be very carefully hit a 6 wood, pull it out to the left of the B, and hit it to the right of the C. Hopefully I get some nice love there. Boom. Exactly what I wanted to do was not necessarily use the sand as an advantage, because sometimes you hit that sand and it just kicks. But I got lucky here and it bounced very nicely off that sand a few feet away and putting in for eagle. Number 7, Misty Springs, hole 8. Probably the most difficult look we've seen at it, because that pin is tucked in the right-hand side behind the tree. So I'm going to recommend just cutting a 3 wood around those trees. Hit it light enough to get some love off of the green, just like that. Might have to have a little chip, but we've actually had a good track record with our 5 hybrid to just kind of shove that in there, especially from those close distances. So we are good to go, walking away with our 7th eagle of the game. Longer look here, 340 from the casual tee, so I'm going to use the 10.5 degree driver high. You want to make sure you still bounce it, you play that 9 wind a bit. I did not get it out as much as I wanted, but still on the fringe for a pretty easy eagle putt. All right, the bane of my existence so far today has been number 9. The 5 hybrid and the 3 hybrid do not get low enough to get through there. The 5 wood almost got through, or excuse me, past it, so we're going to try that again. I'm just going to hit a 5 wood pretty hard into the, that's not good. Hit the 5 wood into the trees, but did not get much love from there. I also just got no love from the trackball. Got no love from the trackball or the rough there. So unfortunate bogey on number 9. We're just going to chalk that up as a terrible, terrible shot. I don't want to look at it too much longer, but still, 8 eagles is nothing to not celebrate, even with a terrible 9th hole. Almost followed up with a terrible 10th hole by hitting the little gap there. Stuart, I don't really play that much weekly anymore. So anytime I play weekly is normally when I'm doing these live streams. Before that, I used to play, I would say it's been 2.5 years since I started IT, just about. And that's really where my gameplay started to go down, because I wasn't out playing as much. So I would say 5 to 10 games a week, if lucky. usually if I do a Monday mix-up, a Freaky Friday, and when we have an event, you might see me hit 15 games a week. Having a little bit of a glitch with our chat, so I want to make sure that we didn't lose you guys. So we are still live, but if you're chatting with us through a YouTube or Twitch, I don't think we're going to see it. I have Facebook pulled up here, but we'll try to reload that here in a few minutes. Looks like our restream is having a little bit of an issue on their end. So low T zero hybrid for Sequoia number 13. Thankfully, this is on the right-hand side of the green, so I do not have to worry about the water as much. Still hitting that too hard, so be very careful. It's not going to affect me really here, but it did cost me a stroke early on. Same thing as always. This is an up 4 green slope for my putt. I'm going to click left 1. It shows it's left 1, so even though looking at the cup it's up 4, you need to know that there is a hair or two of a pull to the left. So just be aware that when you're putting, especially from 50 foot plus. All right, this looks like it's actually going to be a nice setup here. I'm going to tee my 8 wood all the way to the back. I'm not going to high tee it. I'm just going to crush my 8 wood with backspin. I feel like I barely got that over the tree, but that's okay because it's in the rough. But still chipped in for eagle. Not sure how that did not hop out of the cup, but we're gonna just be happy with that eagle there. Finally, a nice setup here. Again, 5 wood right at the green. We're gonna actually use bite on there because of that 13-mile-an-hour wind. Just crush it on up there. Of course, the one time I used bite, backspin would have been more appropriate and probably would have gone in, but we're putting in for eagle on another hole. That's the important part here. All right, a little bit tougher of a look here on number 14, Summit 14. I'm going to hit a 5 wood pretty hard. I'm going to move my tee box to the top right. I'm just going to aim this basically where the wind's blowing towards that pin. Don't want to crush it, but I want to make sure that I get over all of the sand or snow and the rocks. Catch that green. Even if it gets on the fringe, you're still going to have pretty straightforward putt for eagle. Beautiful fire in the background with tents. Do not want to disturb those people, so just one shot on the green and we're out. Shady Acres 15, not the most loving setup here, but we're going to use the 9.5 degree driver with bite. Pull it out to in between the BC and hit it out to the 2 and hopefully catch some of that green. Again, not as bad as last time because I can still putt in for eagle, but didn't get much love in the way of going left. Glenn wants to see a hole-in-one. You and me both, my friend. I strive to always hit hole-in-ones, and I think I maybe in like a year and a half of live streaming have 10, if that. So hopefully I can give you one before the end of this live stream. Just for you, my friend, we're going to possibly botch Indigo Mound just because I want to get a hole-in-one for you. So actually the thought was great, and if it stays up there for eagle, look at that. So, probably hit that a little bit too hard for the left tee box on Indigo Mound 15, but still got an eagle. It's all that matters. The next 2 holes are going to be very important because our best score so far has been 31, and I am not happy with that, which means I need to eagle 17 and at least birdie 18 to beat my score of 31 so far in this week's event. Number 17 is Ryland, hole 14. Now we have a longer look where the zero hybrid comes into play. So I am just going to go ahead to the right tee box, tee it to the right, bottom right corner of the tee box. So when you take a look at game 4, number 17, it's going to point you right at the pin. Just go ahead and click the right button once, low tee, zero hybrid. Now you want to make sure that you're careful to not hit the left-hand side of this tunnel here. So we are going to pull out to the C and hit it a little bit to the right of 2. Don't Don't want to crush it too much. Still going to end up catching that wall, which is unfortunate. It's just a difficult shot, even with the zero hybrid, to make happen. But almost a chip in for eagle. So that means now I have no choice but to eagle hole 18 to go ahead and break the 31 under. It's possible. There's probably a club in here that would do me better than the lob wedge. We're going to go ahead and move the tee box, bottom right. Does not really give you much love of an option. Low tee. I want to avoid the tree, so what I'm going to do is, actually, I'm going to use this little gap here to my advantage. So instead of hitting it all the way out to avoid that tree on the right, there's no way possible that 15-mile-an-hour wind will allow the ball to hit the green. So I'm going to pull my shot here out to the C, hit it a little bit to the right of the 2 to funnel through that gap, and hopefully putt in for eagle. But instead I went actually and hit the hole directly, so that's okay. Alright, we are kind of at a conundrum here, so we're just going to use a 5 hybrid. We're going to try to make a chip work here for eagle. Oh, that would be so amazing. Almost made one heck of a shot for eagle there on 18. So, third 31 in a row, which that hole 9 really killed any opportunity I had for good score. Just not a hole that you need to bogey and really should bogey. It's what, 224. We'll play one final game to walk you guys through the first 5 of events mode for this week. The all eagle event, 18 drivable par 4s, casual tee boxes. Let's see if we can get better than 31 for this final game. Actually, we're not going to see if it can happen. We're going to make it happen. Nothing. I'm getting an eagle on hole 9, which is Woodland Farm number 4, just so you guys are well aware. That's going to happen this game as well. Actually, I'm pretty sure the only hole I got great shot points on that entire game was the very first one, Grand Savannah here. Glenn, thank you. I joke with myself, 31 is always an exceptional round, even for this all-eagle event. Even though it's casual tee boxes, they're not what you guys are used to seeing. So sometimes, as you guys have seen over 72 holes, there's opportunities there where you just don't know the shot or don't have the clubs for it. So we are going to ace this hole right here because it's such a beautiful look. I wish that right 1 slope was a little bit more right because that would have been perfect.
Did you see that?
But the goal is here. Final game, our 5th and final game for this week's event. Depending on the next couple days, we may come back for games 6 through 10. But shoot 32 or better. Walk away. Have you guys 5 games that you can look at while you get out there and play your events mode games this week. Probably the most difficult look we've seen on Highland Links Hole 6. That the pin is way too close to the water. I'm not going to recommend using that 7-mile-an-hour wind to try to hit it left because I'm not good at that. I'm going to actually use my zero hybrid and I'm going to cut into it. So zero hybrid, pulled it out in between the B and A, hit it out to the right of the 2, or excuse me, the left of the 2, and that actually was just about as perfect of a line as you could get there. Just a little bit harder to get some more spin. But for a difficult look there on game 5, absolutely okay with it. Going to walk away happy. Number 4, Falcon Sands hole 2. Longer look from the red tee boxes, 331, 10.5 degree driver. We're just going to go right over the trees that are in front of us. Don't want to crush this one too hard, but you want to make sure you hit it enough that you get some spin out of the green. Unfortunately, hit that one just a little bit too far to the left, but thankfully, even though I got a drop that was way too far back, 5 hybrid chip in for the eagle save. Still having difficulties from chat, so I apologize for our friends on YouTube and Twitch. program we use for this is having some tech difficulties, so hopefully we can get that started or fixed for you guys before the end of the round. But Whispering Valley, hole 5, number 5 in this week's all drivable par 4 event. Actually a very nice look here. This has the opportunity to, oh no, that line was so perfect. That was just a little bit harder, would have been in the hole in one, but that means we have what? 13 more opportunities to hit a hole in one for you guys. Cape Haven hole 9 for number 6 here. Although this is not a very favorable look at first glance, being away from the water is perfect because I can take the 5 wood and kind of cut it in around the sand and hopefully use that to my advantage and get a nice hole in one here. That would actually make me feel so good. No hole in one, but you guys see what I mean. I pulled it to the in between the middle of the A and the B, hit it out in between the 1 and the 2, and use that 6-mile-an-hour wind to my advantage just to avoid those sand humps and hit the green and get some spin. All right, probably the cleanest look you will see on number 7, Misty Springs, hole 8. We are going to hit that 5 wood right at it. I did hit it out to the left of the B just a little bit because I was worried about clipping those trees. But putt in for eagle. No problem there. Number 8, Coconut Beach, number 7, high T, 10.5 degree driver. Use that 5-mile-an-hour wind to just go ahead and blow right towards the pin. A little bit harder than I hit there, but I'm okay with 12 feet putt for eagle. 15 through 8. I'm going to try something different because I do not want to screw this hole up. So we are going to go low T, 0 hybrid. Hit it very soft. Still caught the green somehow, thankfully. So I think I didn't finish my sentence by saying I think I might get eagle here because I knew there was just a good enough opportunity for me to screw that up. So unfortunately, 2 birdies on the front 9, but still a very, very decent looking 16 under. Just means we need to work a little bit harder on the back 9 to make sure that we shoot better than a 31 for you guys for the final game of today's viewing of events mode. Oh, that was a nice little setup there. Hole 10, which is Celtic Shores hole 6. Back to the 274 look of Sequoia Grove. 0 hybrid, low T. Now remember, because you're going to hit this cart path, you're going to lose any chance of spin. So we are just going to hit that little gently. That's possibly going in the water because I hit it out a little bit to the left, which was unfortunate, but still got a good enough shot where we're just putting in 40 feet for eagle. No problems, no questions asked. Eagle Crest 14 for hole number 12. Pretty nice setup here. Don't crush the 8 wood. We're just going to use that 10-mile-an-hour wind to our advantage. Just hit it out a little bit to the right. Let that 10-mile-an-hour wind, well, should have blown it up on there a little bit more than it did for me, but
This one's very close.
I was too worried about hitting that so hard that it just blew right past the green like I did with wind in my face earlier. So unfortunately missed the eagle chip, but still got a birdie there. Hole 13, Glacier, or excuse me, Black Hills 15. A little bit of a love from the fringe. The wind kind of took my shot away from me there. Didn't get much cut at all of the ball. So thankfully that giant rock wall is there to save me from further embarrassment here. Summit Lakes 14 for number 14 here. very, very tough setup. Pin far left as possible. We are just going to play for eagle here. We're going to just go right, hit it straight at the pin, let that 12-mile-an-hour wind just take the ball where it goes. Actually, not a bad setup here. As long as you don't go chasing after the pin, you will be perfectly fine. Number 15, Shady Acres 15. Gonna go ahead and hit a high tee, 10.5 degree driver just straight at the pin. Hopefully it stays up there. Nope. Fortunately, that wind just took it way farther right than I expected, so there goes our opportunity at 31, unfortunately.
Ooh, that's right at it.
Still have the chance to shoot 31 under, but it's going to take a hole-in-one for us to break that streak of 31s I had. So we are going to go ahead and just get a little aggressive. We're going to go 6 wood with bite right at the pin here.
He puts the brakes on it.
Trying for eagle. All for one on tee.
All right, shorter look here for Ryland hole 14. The one problem we are going to have is that, excuse me, 16-mile-an-hour wind. It's blowing opposite of what we want it to be. So we are actually going to try something different since I'm already most likely not breaking 31 under. We are going to hit a high-teed 8 wood, pull it all the way out to the C and hit it out a little bit, or excuse me, pull it all the way out to the A and hit it out to the left of the 2. You don't want to crush it. You just want to get it out there enough to get over the rocks. And wow, look at that. 16-mile-an-hour wind's definitely going to blow the heck out of that golf ball. Longest putt you'll probably see, but you're avoiding the tunnel completely. Probably a little bit closer. We could have got a little closer to that wall, but 108-foot putt for eagle. I'm going to recommend pulling back to the C with a 100-foot putt. Once you hit 80, the ball starts to spin a bit faster because you're obviously hitting it harder. So I'm just going to go ahead and take some of that out. Oh, look at that. Boom. 108-foot putt, dead center-ish of the cup. But the important thing is putting in for eagle. If I could get a look on Glacier 16 that did not involve a 15-mile-an-hour wind, I would be ecstatic. Not going to happen here, unfortunately, and actually it's probably the shortest look we have ever seen, which means I am super out of luck with my lob wedge. So what I'm going to do is hit a low T9 iron. I got it through the trees, but unfortunately nowhere near the green to catch it and stick. So we're going to walk away with 30. I'm okay with it. That fifth setup is a little bit tough on the eyes. Just a few mistakes here and there, but a really nice setup. All drivable par 4. The All Eagle event goes until the end of the night Sunday. 18 holes, all drivable par 4s. Very good opportunity to eagle most of them, if not all of them. And because it is a nice little setup here, I would say, if not tomorrow, Thursday, we'll be back in the Golden Tee Lounge with 5 more games of events mode to help you guys walk through. As always, feel free to message me on Facebook, message the Golden Tee, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram personally if you have great shots or any questions about this week's event, or anything that we didn't get to talk about in your comments here. Feel free to reach out. But all Eagles event all week long, $9,425 in the prize pool this week, 300 spots paid from the Golden Tee Lounge. Kevin Lindsay taking off for the day, but we'll see you next time with more events, Throwback Thursday and Freaky Friday this week.